Hey YouTube, let's go over 10 truths that boggle the mind. First, there is no climate emergency. This is political in nature and not scientific at all. The scientific disinformation is complete nonsense. The agenda at hand is that we have members of the elite that are trying to make up a threat in the name of climate change to usher in larger socialist-based big government. Number two, the U.S. attacks on 9/11 were false flag attacks. There are a large number of inconsistencies and unanswered questions within the mainstream narrative. Things that don't even remotely add up. Things that are left out, that are never talked about. Because if they were brought up, it would cause a lot of chaos with the mainstream narrative. The reality is much more dark. The reality is much more dark and concealed than most of us will probably ever know. It was certainly an inside job because what happened could have never been allowed unless there were people from the inside that allowed it to happen. And it goes all the way up to the top levels of government. Just look at the restrictions on our freedom after the attacks. Look at the socialist laws passed, and then you connect the dots. Number three, most people are not prepared for a personal, local, or regional emergency / crisis. Well, not known specifically, a very good educated guess on what percent of the population that is somewhat prepared, if not very prepared, has been hypothesized to be between 2 to 5%, with another possible 5% on top of that may have a general knowledge of survival and outdoor types of survival-related knowledge. This small segment, though, of the population should be a wake-up call to the rest of the population, because this remnant, this large remnant of possibly 90 to 95% of the population will be dependent on others during times of crisis. Number four, nutritional deficiencies are a major global health concern. Deficiencies are not just found in poor, undeveloped areas of the world, but you find them everywhere. A blood test is required to know what you are deficient in. And here are the top 10 global deficiencies: folate, iron, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin K, magnesium, calcium, vitamin B12, vitamin A, and iodine. Number five, anxiety and depression plague modern society. While not always the case, much of our ills are brought on by an unagreeable lifestyle or environment. Anxiety and depression tend to manifest as coping mechanisms, safeguards, or red flags to alert us of unhealthy behavior or surroundings. Number six, approximately 1/3 of Americans don't know how to cook or refuse to cook. In fact, when surveyed, most people either dislike cooking or they hate cooking. Recent surveys also note that the average American eats out between 4 to 5 times a week. Another survey concluded approximately 20% of meals are eaten outside the home and prepared by others. Number seven, modern day phones and computers are vastly addictive. This technology down-regulates dopamine receptors and makes us feel more flat in affect, especially when we're not using the devices. Taking phone and computer breaks are essential in regulating healthy mood and motivation. Who would have thought that phones could mess with our brains so much? Number 8, modern society is more fragile than most think. Vulnerabilities include power grids, food and water supplies, medical services, communication and computer technology, political corruption, and economic threats. More than ever, people are dependent on the system to live. Some are completely dependent on government for everything. Number 9, real wages and buying power of the U.S. currency is equivalent to the time period between 1974 and 1978 after factoring in inflation. While unemployment is supposedly at record lows, the workforce has made no real gains in buying power and average wage rates. Number 10, in the U.S., of the 11 million families with children under age 18 and no spouse present, the majority are single mothers, 8.5 million. Single fathers comprise the remaining 2.5 million single parent families. Married couples make up about 68% of all families with children under age 18, compared to 93% in 1950. Approximately 1/3 of families are single-parent households. Thanks for checking out my video. Hope everyone is well. Catch you later.